All right, guys, today we are going to look at solving angle bisectors. So remember that this is kind of going along with what we did last time over types of angles. So our objective is students will be able to solve for missing angles and values of x involving bisectors. So that's funny, it says vectors. That should say vertex. Whoops, what did I do? Back over. Vertex. Vectors, that's funny. All right, so remember the vertex is just the middle of the angle. So if I have, I don't know what's happening with my pen here. Let's try that. If I have my angle, we'll put point here, that's A, there, that's O, there, that's B. Remember this point right here, O is my vertex. So vertex meaning it's just the middle of the angle, okay? We have rays that make up our angles. So again, if I had my vertex there at O, and I have a point out here at A, that is ray OA. And out here at B, this would be ray OB. You always start at that vertex and work your way out. So you're going out the direction of that other line. We can name angles as angle O. We can name it by its vertex. Angle AOB or angle BOA. So either way, and we always are going to have this little symbol here indicating the angle right there, okay? Bisectors, so I say, let me draw my angle. All right, if I have angle AOB, all right, this is angle AOB. That's my entire angle. My bisector is going to be what comes from the vertex and goes out. So what I'm doing is cutting that angle into parts. So this would be ray OC, okay? So when we look at this, I have an angle here. So that would be angle COB. And when I add that with the other side, it's going to give me my entire angle. So if I have it with this angle over here with angle AOC, those two angles together are going to equal the entire angle, okay? So bisectors, okay? So we have vertex. Vertex is going to be that middle point of our angle down here at angle O. Angles are made up of two rays, so I can name it angle O, or I can name it angle AOB or angle BOA. They're all indicating the same angle, and we use that little like half moon looking shape there in the middle to indicate the angle. Bisectors, we take an angle and we sit a ray through the middle of it, and those two angles that it creates, when we add them together, gives us the whole angle. So the whole angle being AOB is going to be equal to angle COB, which is the green one, plus AOC, which is going to be the yellow one, and together they give us that whole big angle. All right, so when we're looking at these, we can use that information to solve for these. So I would highly recommend that as you solve these, make note of where things are, okay? So it says we want to know the measure of angle KLM. That's what we want to know. So down here, let me highlight that. Starting at K, going to, oh, that's way too big. My bad. Let's try that again. That one right there. Starting at KLM. That's what we want to find, okay? And it tells us that angle KLB, this angle right here, is going to be 26. And it tells us that angle BLM, so this angle over here, is going to be 60. Well, up here we said when we add the two angles together, they give us that big one. Well, these two angles are the two sides of the bisector, right? They're the two parts that make up the whole. So if I have angle, it's a bad angle, sorry, KLM is going to be equal to angle KLB plus measured angle BLM. I'm looking for the whole, but I know KLB is 26. I know that BLM is 60. And so if we add those together, that would be what, 86 degrees for the angle? All right, let's look at number 2. Same idea. I want to set up what I know, right? So it says the measure of angle GHC, so this one right here, is going to be 60. And it says the measure of angle CHI, so that's this one over here, is going to be 104. And we want to know the whole thing. So angle GHI is equal to angle GHC plus the angle CHI. We have 60 plus 104. So the angle GHI is going to be equal to 164 degrees. All right, let's look at our next one. So page 2 of this, up at the top. All right, number 3 says find the measure of angle WDC. So this part right here is what I'm looking for. So this time I'm not looking for the whole, I'm looking for part of the whole. It says EDC, so that's the entire angle. Let me change colors here. This entire angle all the way through is going to be 145. And then they said that EDW in yellow there is going to be 61. So back to what we know. We know we're looking for angle, no, take that back. What was I doing? There we go. All right, my whole angle is angle EDC, and we're adding EDW and WDC. The whole thing we said was 145. We said the EDW was 61, and we are looking for the other one. So if I subtract 61 from the 145, I end up at 84, so minus 61. That gives me 84 degrees for X, which is also going to be angle WDC. Okay, and remember that when we move things away from X, it's always by its opposite. 61 was positive, its opposite is negative, which is subtraction. So 145 minus 61 gives me 84. All right, so over here, I'm going to write what we have. So I have angle IHG is equal to angle IHQ plus angle QHG. All right, so we want to know IHQ. If I know that IHG is 176, sorry, I lost my train of thought, 176, and we don't know IHQ, but we're going to add to that 130. So same idea, if the 130 is positive, to move it away from X, I need to make it negative, so minus 130 is going to give me 40 for angle X, which is also going to be angle I. That's really bad. Sorry, y'all. All right, angle IHQ. All right, I'm just going to go down right here. We'll come back around. All right. So we have angle VUT. So that's this angle right through there is equal to angle, let's switch colors, VUJ. So VUJ And to that, we are going to add angle J. So this part, oops, not in blue, in red. J, U, T. So J, U, T. All right. It says that VUT is going to be 175. It says that VUJ is 17x minus 3. And it tells us that VUT is 17x plus 8. And we're solving for x. So they've given us all of the angles, but they're just in expression form. And so we want to solve for x. So I have 175 here. I'm going to add this 17x and that 17x. So 17 plus 17 is going to give us 34. And then I'm going to take this negative 3 here and add it with this positive 8 there. Switch back. All right, so negative 3 plus 8 is going to give me plus 5. If I move the 5 over, it's positive, so its opposite is going to be negative. So I have 170 is equal to 34x. Remember that anytime you have a number and a letter side by side, that's multiplication. Its opposite is going to be division. So I'm dividing that 170 by the 34. And when I do that, I get that x is 5. So there is that answer. So this is basic algebra skills from last year where we're just solving two-step equations is all we're doing. Okay? Let's look at this one. So I have angle HGF, so that's this angle, that big angle, right, is equal to angle HGE, so that's this angle right here. To that, we are going to add angle EGF, so this side of the bisector, okay? All right, so they tell us that FGH is going to be 16x plus 4. And they tell us that HGE rather is 3x plus 11. And they tell us that EGF, EGF is going to be, where did I lose EGF? 110. All right, so we need to simplify the right side. So in simplifying the right side, I have 110, and I'm going to add to that the 11, so that's going to leave 16x plus 4 is equal to 3x plus 121. I need to combine like terms, so this is a like term to that. The 3x is positive. When I move it, it becomes negative, so this is minus, let me get rid of that. Write it again. Why is that so big? There we go. All right, this is 16x. We're going to minus 3x from that, so that gives me 13x plus 4 on the left. I still have the 121 on the right. The 4 is positive, so when I move that, I guess I should give myself a little more space. Sorry if you hear my dog. He got up on the chair with me. Minus 4, so I have 13x is equal to, I'm subtracting those, so 121 minus 4 is going to give me 117. Again, if I have a number and a letter side by side, that is multiplication. Its opposite is going to be division, and I'm dividing by that 13, and that gives me that x is 9. All right, so we started out over on the right here with vertex, angles, and bisectors. We identified what vertex are, we identified how we name angles, how they're made up, and then we looked at what bisectors were. Bisectors are going to be the total angle at AOB plus AOC plus COB. Together that gives me AOB. We started off with basic solving. I gave you the two parts. We had to find the whole. So that's real simple. We just add those two together. It gives me the whole. That was example 1 and 2. Examples 3 and 4. We were basically they gave us the whole, and we had to find the other part of the other part of it, right? So I'm subtracting what I know from the whole, and that gives me what's left, right? So that was 3 and 4. 5 and 6, to be honest, were probably the two that would give you the most trouble, just because it's basic algebra from last year, and maybe we don't remember all of our algebra skills. Two-step equations. Remember that we always want to combine like terms. So if it's an x, you got to combine it with another x, right? If it's a number, you combine it with another number. When we move across the equal sign is when we change its value. So if it was positive, when I move it, it becomes negative. It was negative to start. When I move it, it becomes positive. And so we got to remember those basic algebra rules. It's two-step equations. Once you combine like terms, add or subtract, and then you're almost always going to divide there at the end. Okay? And that would be it.